For decades, Russia's vast and seemingly endless Siberian oil fields have been the lifeblood not only of its own economy, but of many others around the world. These frozen expanses, rich with black gold beneath the permafrost, fueled entire industries and powered cities thousands of miles away. The price of oil dictated the rhythm of Russian life, and the Kremlin's fortunes rose and fell in tandem with the global oil market. When prices soared, so did Russia's influence and prosperity. When they crashed, the nation felt the shockwaves. With sprawling pipelines snaking across continents, Russia gained immense leverage over both allies and adversaries. These arteries of energy connected the Russian heartland to the bustling cities of Europe and the growing economies of Asia, making Russia indispensable to their energy security. Soviet and Russian engineers, braving harsh Arctic conditions, built entire cities from scratch to extract and process oil. These outposts became symbols of human ingenuity and determination, and their legacy continued long after the Soviet Union's collapse. In the new era, companies like Rosneft and Lukoil emerged as global giants, expanding their reach far beyond Russia's borders. Their logos became synonymous with Russian power, innovation, and technological prowess. The world's dependence on Russian oil was clear. Any disruption in supply sent shockwaves through global markets, affecting everything from fuel prices to international relations. Russia's energy exports became a tool of diplomacy and a source of national pride. Oil was not just an economic asset, it was central to Russia's identity and its seat at the world's most important tables. The Kremlin understood that its global influence was inextricably linked to the steady flow of oil. For years, Russia believed its oil reserves would last forever, a resource as enduring as the nation itself. But now, in August 2025, that once solid foundation is beginning to show cracks. New technologies, from advanced renewables to revolutionary battery storage and shifting global energy markets, are redrawing the map of power. The world is changing faster than ever, and Russia's dominance, once thought unshakable, is being challenged. The story of energy is one of constant evolution and upheaval. Now, a formidable challenge is rising from an unexpected place, one that threatens to upend the old order and force Russia to adapt or risk being left behind. The Russian bear, long the undisputed king of oil, now faces a new and unpredictable rival. The world watches as the next chapter in the global energy saga begins to unfold. Oil is more than just a commodity. It's the engine of modern life, quietly powering the world as we know it. From the moment we wake up to the time we go to sleep, oil's influence is everywhere, woven into the fabric of our daily routines. It fuels the vehicles that move people and goods across continents, heats millions of homes during cold winters, and forms the backbone of countless industries, from manufacturing to agriculture. Even the plastics and products we use every day often begin with oil. For nations, oil represents not just energy security but also the promise of immense wealth and global influence. Countries rich in oil reserves can shape their destinies and play pivotal roles on the world stage. A major oil discovery can transform a country almost overnight, funding new highways, schools and hospitals, and lifting millions out of poverty by creating jobs and opportunities. Yet, oil's promise comes with significant risks: corruption, environmental disasters, inequality, and over-reliance on a volatile global market that can change in an instant. The so-called resource curse can destabilize entire economies, concentrating wealth and power in the hands of a privileged few, while leaving many behind. When oil prices crash, the consequences can be severe, triggering economic crises, job losses, and even social unrest as people struggle to adapt. Managing an oil boom requires careful, long-term planning and transparent governance to ensure that the benefits are shared and the pitfalls avoided. Oil's strategic value also makes it a source of conflict. Nations have gone to war over access to oil fields, and military forces often guard these vital resources. Control of shipping lanes and reserves shapes global geopolitics, influencing alliances, rivalries, and the balance of power between nations. A country with oil becomes a major player, its decisions and policies felt far beyond its borders, impacting economies and lives around the globe. Oil has the power to build nations, driving progress and prosperity, or to tear them apart, fueling division and decline if mismanaged. It is both a blessing and a test, a force that challenges leaders and societies to choose wisely for the future of their people and the world. The Philippines' oil story began quietly, almost unnoticed by the world, as the nation's vast seas and remote islands kept their secrets well hidden for decades. Yet, beneath the surface, geologists long suspected that untapped reserves of oil and gas might be waiting, hidden deep below Philippine waters. Early finds were modest, yielding only small amounts, but everything changed when a new joint venture brought advanced seismic imaging technology to the waters west of Palawan. The data was astonishing. It revealed a massive underground structure, soon to be known as the Maharlika Field, stretching further than anyone had imagined. In January 2025, after months of anticipation, the first well struck a vast reservoir of high-quality crude oil, sending waves of excitement across the country. Initial estimates suggested that Maharlika's reserves could rival the world's largest oil fields, putting the Philippines on the global energy map almost overnight. Manila moved fast. President Santiago declared Maharlika a national priority, forming a special task force to oversee its rapid and responsible development. Determined to avoid the so-called resource curse that has plagued other nations, the government announced a sovereign wealth fund modeled after Norway's to manage oil revenues wisely. Plans focused on investing in critical infrastructure, new roads, bridges and ports to connect communities and boost the economy. Education and healthcare were also at the forefront, with promises to build modern schools and hospitals, ensuring the oil wealth would benefit future generations. Developing Maharlika required billions in investment and the expertise of international partners, bringing together Filipino talent and global innovation. Environmental concerns loomed large, but the government pledged to use the safest, most advanced technologies to protect the nation's rich biodiversity and coastal communities. The nation stood on the brink of transformation, opportunity and peril intertwined, as hopes soared and questions lingered about the future. The Philippines had found its own black pearl. The world took notice, and the eyes of investors, environmentalists, and ordinary citizens turned to Maharlika. A new era was dawning, promising prosperity, challenges, and a chance to shape the nation's destiny for generations to come. In Manila, news of Maharlika sparked euphoria, markets soared and hope surged. For a nation long reliant on overseas workers, this was a turning point. The swift creation of a sovereign wealth fund signaled a commitment to responsible management. In Moscow, disbelief turned to alarm as the scale of the discovery became clear. Russia, already pressured by sanctions and price swings, now faced a new competitor. The Philippines launched a global campaign, offering stable, high-quality oil to key markets. This directly challenged Russia's market share, especially in Asia. Russian media cast doubts, while diplomats scrambled to secure contracts. A new front in the global energy war had opened. The oil windfall is set to supercharge the Philippine economy. Ambitious infrastructure projects and millions of new jobs are on the horizon. Education and healthcare budgets are rising, but rapid change brings challenges. Urban migration strains resources and inflation threatens those left behind. The government's Malampaya 2 sovereign wealth fund aims to stabilize the economy and invest for the future. Oil revenue will fund pensions, renewables, and scholarships, ensuring long-term benefits. A new class of skilled professionals is emerging, fueling optimism. The challenge: ensure the boom lifts all Filipinos, not just a privileged few. The nation's social fabric is being rewoven. Maharlika is reshaping the Indo-Pacific's geopolitical landscape. The Philippines, once a minor player, now wields new influence and energy independence. The US sees a stronger, more stable ally in Manila. Russia's pivot to Asia is threatened as the Philippines competes for key markets. Asian nations now have a closer, democratic energy partner. Russia may be forced to cut prices and seek new markets in Africa and Latin America. The discovery also raises the stakes in South China Sea disputes. The Philippines is modernizing its navy to protect its assets, potentially deterring aggression or sparking new tensions. Russia is investing in alternative energies to adapt. The old energy order is fading. A multipolar world is emerging. The balance of power is shifting. The futures of the Philippines and Russia are diverging, yet linked by global energy. The Philippines faces immense promise. If it manages wealth wisely, it could become a model for sustainable growth. Russia, facing declining influence, must reform and diversify to survive. The dynamic between these nations will shape the coming decades. Will Russia resist or adapt? Can the Philippines avoid the pitfalls of sudden wealth? The world is watching as the Maharlika Field rewrites the global balance. One nation rises, another must reinvent itself. A new era has begun, and nothing will ever be the same.